CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
And you might call this Christmas in January. The Salvation Army is bringing the holiday spirit into the new year by serving up a turkey feast for those in need.
Gravy as well?
Sally Ann was cooking up a storm this afternoon. Chefs were there preparing a traditional Christmas dinner with all the trimmings. The nonprofit organization moved its holiday dinner to mid-January due to the number of feasts that were already being offered around December 25th, and more than 300 people turned out for a good meal today.
A lot of the people who come in here aren't very well off. They don't have a lot of money and a lot of extra resources of their own. To get a meal like this is not something they can afford, so we're happy to provide it. It helps give them a nutritious meal on a very, very cold day.
It was perfect because, as a matter of fact, the snow and the weather and the good food and makes everybody happy. Thank you very much.
How was the meal?
The meal was superb. The cooks are fine. We love them all.
It looks good. By the way, the turkeys were all cooked by the culinary students at Camosun College. The Salvation Army does this kind of thing every day. In fact, it provides more than 1 million meals a year for people who are hungry. Bear Mountain developer and former NHL star Len Barry is being sued by a major Las Vegas casino. Bellagio LLC has filed a suit in BC Supreme Court against Barry, claiming that he owes more than $2 million in gambling debt. The Bellagio claims that Barry received $1.5 million in credit from the casino in May of 2008 and has repaid about $420,000. The casino claim is that the debt plus interest totals more than $2 million. The lawsuit was filed in December, but a lawyer for Bellagio says that Barry was not served with the lawsuit until this week. Barry has not filed a statement of defense in the case. None of the allegations against him has been proven in court. A recall to tell you about tonight. Grocery giant Loblaw is recalling some of its President's Choice Organics brand infant cereals, some sold through Great Canadian Superstore. The involuntary recall involves 8 varieties of oat, rice, wheat, and mixed grain infant cereals. The Canadian Food Inspection Agency says if the cereal smells off, don't use it. Once again, it's President's Choice Organics brand infant cereal. There are reports from Mexico tonight that 2 men have been arrested in the killing of a Salt Spring Island man, Robin Wood. The 67-year-old was shot to death on the 3rd of January at point-blank range during a break-in at his friend's home near the resort town of Malacay. The prosecutor's office in the area says the 2 men arrested are both 18 years old. Police say they are looking for a 3rd man in Mexico in connection with Wood's murder. And the Nanaimo RCMP officer is under investigation after a complaint from a man who was arrested on suspicion of drunk driving. He was stopped by police in December 2009 and taken into custody. Nearly 2 years later, just this past November, he filed a complaint saying that he had been injured during the arrest. RCMP have asked Central Saanich Police to investigate the allegations. The officer in question remains on active duty. A teenager who disappeared from her home in Ontario may be on Vancouver Island, and her family is hoping that you can help to find her. Emma Woods is 15 years old. She is believed to have caught a Greyhound bus in Mississauga, Ontario, about a week ago. Emma had just moved to Ontario from BC this past September, and police believe that she has come back here. Emma is about 5'5" in height, blonde hair, and a fair complexion. If you see her or know her whereabouts, you're asked to contact your nearest RCMP. And a teenaged girl has also gone missing in the Comox Valley. 17-year-old Ebony Wilson lived in Courtenay but is originally from Nanaimo, and police believe that is where she likely is. She's 5'4", dark hair and dark eyes, last seen on January 10th. If you know the whereabouts of Ebony Wilson or have seen her, you're asked to contact RCMP. The Duke Point Ferry Terminal is going to be out of commission longer than expected. It'll likely be the middle of April before ferries can dock there once again. The Coastal Inspiration slammed into the dock at Duke Point on December 21st, and the terminal has been closed ever since. There's a contractor on site right now pulling the dock apart, and now that they have had a closer look at the damage, BC Ferries realizes that significant repairs need to be done. BC Ferries got through the Christmas season with just 1 terminal in Nanaimo. Now it's preparing to handle several more months and some major travel holidays as well.
Contractors will be working hard to see if they can open up before Easter, but it is doubtful at this point. Certainly we'll be having extra staff at our Departure Bay terminal over the Easter weekend. We would expect to need traffic controllers, and we will be doing full contingency plans for that period of time, as well as for spring break, which will be in March.
The official cause of the crash is still under investigation. BC Ferries says it may have been the failure of an electronic guidance system.